Hey, everybody. It's Kim Love Jones here. In case you're watching this on the replay, hit hashtag replay. I've been trying to get on here to go live every night. I have so much in my heart and in my head I want to share with you all. And I wanted to tell you all about my upcoming workshop and luncheon that is going to be at Platowish Park on May the 10th from 12 to 4. I have posted it in the event, and you can come and invite all of your girlfriends. And men are coming too. But this is really a place for us to heal, for us to get back to, where we should be so that we can have healthy relationships. So I am extending the invitation out again because I really want you all to come and be a part of this workshop because it is going to be absolutely amazing. It is May 10th, and the early bird special is if you get it before April the 5th, it's only $77. After that, it's going back up to $97. So yeah, I wanted to run, run the promotion a little bit longer. And I also have some vendors. I'm going to have some vendors, but if you know anybody who wants to be a vendor at this event, please have them contact me, inbox me, whatever. So let me just get into this. I am literally about to share this in my group because I think that this is important. Hold on. Let me shut down my volume on my phone and I want to place this in my group and I want to send it to my peeps, send it to my peeps, send it to my peeps. Yes. So I wanted to talk to you all tonight about this topic. If he wanted to, he would. This is for my single sisters. This is not necessarily for my brothers. I don't want my brothers to get on here and start getting all offended because of what I'm saying, but I mean what I say, and I'm gonna say what I mean. I'm gonna say what I mean. Um, I am hoping that my sisters could wrap their heads around the fact that if a man wanted you, he would make sure that he was there with you and for you. I hear over and over and over again through multiple phone conversations, through people calling me, coming by to see me. Kim, what you doing? Are you busy? When I go out in the street, I run into people all the time. Kim, I know you do the whole relationships thing. What do you think of this? Right. And I just want it for tonight. For tonight. And I may have to do it again. I don't know. I wanted to more or less set the record straight. If he wanted to, he would. I know countless women who find themselves head over heels over men because the man is a good man. He's not a horrible man. He's a good man. He knows how to talk to you. He helps you out if you call him. I'm not talking about men who are downright just, the bottom of the barrel, don't have nothing to offer, nothing like that. I'm not talking about those men. I'm talking about men who are wonderful men. And I know women who get into relationships with these men, real talk, and they start falling into a situationship. He's not claiming you, you're not claiming him, but as the relationship grows, you you just start falling into doing things out of habit because you know that ultimately you get to the point of cooking, you get to the point of cleaning, you get to the point of Netflix and chilling. You've been out to dinner twice, 2 or 3 times. He's a nice enough guy. You like him. He is not a bad guy at all. He's about something. He has to work. He has his children. He has a life that he is living, right? Hi, I see you watching. Say hello. Say hello. He has a life that he is living, right? And he's a decent guy. He's good to his mother. He's good to his friends. He got a bunch of, guys that he rocks with and he's cool with. He has a life. You hear about him going on vacation or having gone on vacation before you met him. he's been to different countries, so he's not lazy. He doesn't, I'm talking about a good man. I'm talking about a good man. I'm not talking about the men that are on the corner that are just hanging out and not doing anything with their lives. I'm not talking about men who do not actually even have a relationship with God, because most of the time these brothers have a relationship with God. They're good guys. They're really, really good guys. And the reason why I'm jumping on this tonight is because I think that there is some confusion around the whole idea of, if you are in a relationship with a man, and he's a good guy, and he treats you nicely, but you and him have two different agendas, that you would stay and you would be by his side even though y'all don't want the same things, right? So I'm not talking about your average guy who's not any good. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the good guy. I'm talking about the good guy tonight. I feel like it is so very, very important to discuss the good guy, because so many times we always look at the worst guy in the bunch and we're like, oh, all men are like that. And that's not true. There are some absolute wonderful and amazing. I see y'all watching. Say hello. Say hello. I see you watching. There are some absolute wonderful and amazing men that are out here. They are like incredible, right? And I always talk about them because I know a lot of good men, right? They're not for me, but there are a lot of good men that are out here, right? Here's what I wanted to share, because I want to be clear. If a man wants you, he will do what he needs to do in order to get you and in order to keep you. I think that that is where the conundrum comes in at. I think that we waste a lot of our time and give our attention to men who would not, while we would climb a mountain for them, they wouldn't jump over a puddle for us, right? And I think that it gets confusing for women. I think that a lot of times women think, well, I'll see if it'll work, and a man could be very honest, brutally honest. I'm not looking for anything right now. He could be open and honest with you about that. Um, he doesn't have to lie. And somewhere deep down in the city of our soul, we'll think, just because he's this amazing and wonderful man, right? And again, this is for my single sisters. This is for my single sisters. This is not for my married sisters tonight. This is not just for relationships in general tonight. Um, this is for my single sisters. The one thing that I want my sisters to know is that you do not have to try to convince a man that you're it. You don't have to prove or do cartwheels and flips to try to show a man that you're it. You don't have to. Part of the biggest issue that we have as women, is trying to do all of the things that a wife does for a man, and the man is not even claiming you. He's not claiming you. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a text message. And he's not claiming you. And so what happens is, and what tends to happen is that a lot of women get into situationships with these brothers, and these brothers are not checking for them. Not in the whole way. Like, they like you, but they don't like you enough. And so the topic for tonight is, if he wanted to, he would. I was reading in the Bible about Laban, Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, right? And I was reading about how Jacob worked 7 years to be with Rachel, and his uncle Laban tricked him. And he ended up having to work another 7 years for her. because he said, no, you got to marry my daughter Leah first. And it's a whole complicated story, but the gist of it is that Jacob saw Rachel taking care of the sheep, doing what she do, and went to the well to go get the water, right? And what Jacob did was when he saw her, he knew that she was the one for him. What's happening out here today, and I'm not saying that men even ascribe or want to be married. I'm not saying that, but they want the benefits of marriage because men know how important it is, and I'm being honest, to have a good person in your life, somebody that you can share with. I don't know what manner of man we are dealing with this evening. I really do not know. I mean, today, during these times. But I do know that if a man wants you, just from reading that story alone, just from reading that, if a man truly wants you, there is absolutely nothing that you're going to be able to do to get that man who wants to be your husband, who wants to make you or marry you because he loves you so much. There is absolutely nothing, and I really truly mean this, that's going to stop that man from doing everything that he can in his power to make sure that you're okay, that you're good. So what I see, when I hear men talk about the masculine energy, when I hear men talking about, women being outside of where they should be, I go, okay, because we don't really have any other choice. The right man for you is going to make sure, trust me when I tell you, he is going to make sure that you are well taken care of and you are not going to have to worry about being in your masculine or your feminine energy, right? Because he's going to make sure that he shows you through his actions that he is all about you and his words. And what I find is incredible is that women are in their masculine so much that women are now chasing men as if men are the prize. When a man sees you, he is going to do his absolute best to take care of you in every way, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. He's going to make sure that he does what he should do for you. After revisiting the story of Jacob and Rachel and seeing how much he loved her at first, seeing her at first sight, it really made me think about the fact that there are men out here that know straight out the gate, straight out the gate, that you're it for them. They think you're beautiful. They think you're wonderful. They think you're kind. They will think that, they'll think the most of you. And they're going to then show up in the capacity to let you know that you can count on them and you can depend on them, and that you and then you are going to in exchange feel safe and protected, and then you are going to take care of him to the best of your ability. To the best of your ability. I find that a lot of people, and this is the truth, a lot of folks have the game messed up. A lot of people have the game all messed up. It's backwards. And I've never seen, and I keep saying this, and this is not for the dudes. I'm not talking about every man. I'm talking about some men. Men do not understand. They really, truly do not understand how they should be showing up. And we don't get to tell them that. But when a man meets the woman that is for him, he is going to move heaven and earth for her. And you don't have to try to convince him of your worth. He will know you when he sees you. He's going to know that you're different. He's going to know that you are worthy of all of that and so much more than a lot of times he can even give you. But sometimes we as women, we think that every man who tries to talk to us is worth us being with. And that's not true. Let that man show you. You don't have to convince him to come and pick you up to take you out to dinner, to make plans for you and for him. You don't have to convince him to do the things that need to be done. He's going to volunteer if he sees that you have a need. What I see is I see women cooking in the kitchen. The guy is at their house. He is sleeping with them. He is doing whatever it is that he wants to do. She's down for whatever. And he's never going to wife you because he really doesn't love you. Not like that. He thinks you're cool. He'll kick it with you. He'll let you cook him dinner. He'll let you perform all of the wifely duties. He'll let you do, and he'll do for you too, the minimum to keep your interest. And I think that that's where we as women really mess up. Because he doesn't have to love us. He can have one foot in and one foot out. He could be there sometimes, but don't show up all the time, and we'll still accept it. Not realizing and recognizing that there is a standard that we should have for ourselves. If a man wanted to be there with you, if he wanted to marry you, he would. You don't even got to ask. He's going to know you when he sees you. He could be a brother you work with or something, and you can meet him anywhere. It doesn't matter. When I think about Rachel and I think about Jacob, and I think about the fact that he saw her and he went to her and he began to do work to show her that he was a man and that he would take care of her. You go down, go sit down, you relax. I'm going to get this water. I'm going to take care of these sheep for you. And then he goes back and he talks to her father. And he asked his father. His father said, you got to work for 7 years. And he was glad to work for 7 years because that was the woman that he loved. And I know that a lot of people, especially in today's times, but God is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. That story is not in the Word of God for no reason. That story is in the Word of God because God wants us to know that when a man really, truly wants to be with you, you're not going to have to do cartwheels and flips for him. He's going to do cartwheels and flips for you because he thinks you're worth it. You don't have to tell a man, I want to go out to dinner. You don't have to tell a man, I want to go to the theater because I like the theater. He might ask you, what do you like to do? But you don't have to tell him to go buy the tickets. When a man thinks that you are worth it, he does everything in his power to make sure that you're okay. And it's not a game. It's not a joke. It's nothing like that. It's like, he knows how important you are. He knows. And so I just got on here for a minute to talk to my sisters, to say to my sisters, you don't have to do cartwheels and flips. You don't have to contort yourself into a pretzel. You don't have to go through a whole bunch of anything to be with a man, because when he sees your value and he knows your worth, he's going to do all that he needs to do for you. I remember one time I met this guy. I knew his mother, so he didn't live in New York. He lived in another state, right? But I knew his mom, and I met him through his mom. So we used to all laugh and joke and talk on the phone. We would do three-ways all the time and laugh and joke. And I remember he was like, oh, he thought I was cool. I thought he was a cool guy as well at the time. And I remember the very first time we were scheduled to meet each other, I said, come meet me downstairs, because his mother lived in an apartment building. And I said to him, meet me downstairs. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna meet you downstairs. I'm going upstairs. And I was like 5 minutes away or something. I was like, well, just wait for me. You're already in the parking lot. And he didn't. And I knew that day like he wasn't it. Like I don't care what we talked about, how much we laughed, how much we joked, how much of like he definitely was not the type of person for me. Not even really to be friends with. And I knew that from the first time I met him, just to be friends. Just to be friends with. I knew that the first time I met him because he showed me. I didn't have to do cartwheels and flips to see that. I just paid attention to how he was moving. And while we laughed and we joked, I knew that we would never be anything just because of his behavior and that one incident. Because you can better believe if I hadn't met you and I've been talking to you for a while, and this is way before videos on phones, right? So you know I'm going back quite a few years. Um, but the point I'm trying to make here is any man who is that interested in me, he would have waited downstairs for me. He would have made sure, like, okay, I'm coming. Yo, Kim, you coming? All right, I'm gonna wait down here. I'm already I'm just getting out of my car, so I'll just wait until you come. That's very telling, you know. It says a lot. So the thing that I want women and my sisters to understand tonight is that I'm not talking about guys that are absolutely no good. I'm talking about decent, good guys. Like they good guys, they go to work every day, they take care of their business, they do everything. They hang out with their crew, they go on vacations with their crew, they have, you know, they're good to their mothers, they're good to their children if they have children. They just good guys all around, but they just not the ones for you. And no matter how much you love them and you care about them and you think that they're amazing and dope, if they not it, if they don't see you as being it, then you're not it for them. And I know that we will sometimes wait around in the hopes of them changing their mind or coming to their senses. But a man knows if he wants to be with you or not, and he lets you know in not so subtle ways that you're not it. And I'm gonna say this because men will sleep with you over and over and over again if you let them. And that still doesn't mean that they're it for you. And I'm not talking about the bottom of the barrel men. I'm not. I'm talking about good, decent men who go to work every day, who take nice vacations, who dress nice, who do all the things. And the next thing you know, if you're not careful, you end up in bed or doing wifely things with a man who's not your husband, with a man who doesn't even claim you. And most of the time, he's not even worth you anyway. But he'll do in a pinch because he's cute and he's a nice person. I think most people, you think they're nice if you're hanging out with them anyway. So that's a precursor to be with you. Because I don't think people are around people that they don't think are nice. So the other part is discerning whether or not this person is for you. And just because they're wonderful, got good jobs, and do all the things doesn't mean that that man is for you. If he wanted to be with you, he would. It's as simple as that. And you can't even say if he loves you or whatever. That can't come into the equation. Right? And the only reason why I'm saying that is because when a man loves you, he gonna move heaven and earth for you. And that immediately you should know. Because you can tell by how he moves. You could tell how he does things. When I reread the story about Rachel and Jacob, and I realized that he really laid eyes on her and he was in love with her and willing to do whatever it took. And he worked 7 years for his uncle Laban to have her hand in marriage. And then he worked an additional 7 years because he ended up having to marry Leah. A man will do what he needs to do to be with you. Trust and believe me when I tell you. And because God is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore, I see you watching. Say hello, say hello. Then the stories are still the same. We just get it messed up because we convolute it. We sometimes believe that, oh, well, I can change his mind. You can't change his mind. When he's made up his mind about you, he is going to act accordingly. And we cannot keep twisting it up and thinking to ourselves that this man is going to somehow change his mind when he's already decided what category he's putting you in. Hey, Monk, I see you. My sister, I'm so sorry I missed your birthday party. I wish you would have reminded me. I am so sorry. I love you. I'm sorry I missed your birthday party, sis. I really am. Because I would have been there turning up, right? Okay. I would have been there turning up. I'm just telling you. I am so sorry. And Pat didn't call me either. I'm so sorry I missed it. I am. I saw the pictures. I was so upset. But yeah, so like we don't have to contort ourselves into pretzels. Men know your worth and your value, or they don't. And if they don't, then you should know immediately that they are not it for you. Should know immediately. Like, you don't have to make excuses for them. I love you too, sis. I love you too. You don't have to make excuses for them. You don't have to be in the kitchen cooking butt naked in a thong. Like, you don't have to do it. When a man loves you, he gonna show you. I know you sent it to me, sis. I talked to you on the phone. I just missed it. I'm gonna have to come down. I'm gonna have to come down by you, and when I come down, we just gonna hang out. I'm gonna have to make it up to you because I can't believe I missed your birthday party. I really can't believe that. Oh my God. But yeah, when a man wants you, baby, you don't have to contort yourself. You don't have to say, oh, I want to go out to dinner. Oh, I want roses. Oh, I want to be treated nice. Oh, you don't have to say any of that. Because if he wanted to, he would. So you don't have to convince him. You do not have to convince him to love you. If a man really wants you, you don't have to do anything. Right? You're going to contort yourself into a pretzel, right? You're going to contort yourself, since I see you, you're going to contort yourself into all kinds of things to try to make somebody see how valuable you are. No. I said in 2025 we were going to be doing something different, and I see God shifting me and moving me now. Because everything I'm talking about is right there in the Word of God. Rachel didn't have to do anything. He began to show her his ability to take care of her. And he was willing to work for it and do what he had to do. Now, in today's society, people say, oh, people change, society, times have changed. It ain't like that no more. It really is like that. It really, really is like that. When a man really wants you, he gonna do whatever he gotta do. Trust me, I know. And I'm not just talking about to have sex with you either. There's a difference in how he loves you. Like you feel like, oh my God, I feel so safe around this man. I feel cared for. I feel loved. I feel like he's got my back. Wait, I don't have to worry about nothing. Wait, he's gonna come over here and he gonna make sure I'm okay. Wait, he's gonna, when he's leaving out, a house, even if he's just visiting for 5 minutes, he's gonna take the garbage out. He gonna look and see if I have a need and he's gonna meet it. No, it's real. It's real. You don't have to say, oh, I'm a little short. You say, oh, I got to take my car to the mechanic. What day you want to take? Did you schedule to take it in? He says, I'm off that morning. I'll take your car and you can take my car to work. You're not going to have to tell him. You're not gonna have to do anything, but take care of yourself. He's gonna show you that you're important to him through his actions and his words. Something goes awry at your house, he's gonna make sure that he takes care of you. He's gonna show you, for real. I'm not making this up. Because you're gonna feel safe in his care, you see. And every man is not going to do that. Some men just want you to be safely tucked in their bed. They don't care anything about the rest of your life. They don't care how your day went. They're not trying to do anything extra for you. Some of them won't even claim you. They won't claim you. They won't tell anybody that they're in a relationship. They won't take you out to public settings to meet their friends. They won't introduce you to their family. They won't try to, help you to have a relationship with some of their people. None of that if you're not it. But he will come to your house and at 8 o'clock at night. Now, it's not a midnight booty call no more. That's not what because, even though it's a booty call, it's 8 o'clock because he know you're going to be in bed by 9:30. So he ain't coming at midnight because midnight you sleep with the bonnet on. You ain't even thinking about being, it's like, no, call me in the morning. Don't play. I got to get up and go to work in the morning. But a man who's interested in you, he going to come and see you right away, straight away from work. He gonna see you straight away from work. He gonna say, "What you doing this afternoon? I want to take you out to dinner." Yes, sis, because that's what they're doing. And so, you know what I think has happened, sis. To be honest with you, you know what I think has happened. I think that we unconsciously have lowered the bar. If I could be honest, I think we have unconsciously lowered the bar because it's been drilled in us, not just from anybody that look like us, but it's been drilled in us, for generations that we're not worth anything. And we have been settling for whatever is left over. We've been settling for the garbage, right? I was talking to my mother one day about eating chitlins. Since you already know what time it is. I was talking to my mother about eating chitlins, right? Um, and I was saying to my mom, I was like, "Mom, you don't have to eat that no more. We like you don't have to eat any of the pig. Like we could afford steak. Like you could eat something else. Like that's what they gave y'all, and y'all made a delicacy out of it." Right. But when I tell you, you do not have to eat that. My mother said, I like chitlins. This is back in the day. And I was having a fit because not that I don't eat pork, right? I wasn't eating pork on occasion. But I was like, ain't nobody eating no chitlins no more. Get out of here. But that's what they left us. And we got accustomed to taking what was left. And we have yet to truly sit in our power and to understand who we are for real, as women, to understand the power that we hold, right? And then teach that to our younger sisters so that they would understand how beautiful they are and what they're really worth and their value, and that they don't have to settle for, right? And then to get out here and be treated badly or deal with people who do not have the capacity to love them, that then becomes the problem. And it's kind of passed on from generation to generation, but we're getting wiser because a lot of us are not tolerating it. And we're like, you know what, if I got to deal with all that, I'll just be by myself. I'll live longer if I'm by myself. I don't have to deal with any drama. But how beautiful would it be if you had somebody in your life who treated you like the queen that you are, and that is your king? When I hear women in the word of God who say Lord, right, when they refer to their husbands as Lord, like it's in the word. The reason why they do that is because they admire them and they respect them because of the way that they treated them. They took care of them. They made them feel safe. They didn't have to worry, right? So they knew that they were special, and the man knew that they were special and treated them as such. And because of that, the woman held her husband in such high regard that she called him Lord. Now, I know ain't nobody trying to do that today, But imagine if you had a man and he would really, and you like, that's my king. That's my king, right? Imagine that. So I'm not talking about what, like, as I was just talking about this whole thing, you do not have to convince a man to love you. You don't. You absolutely do not have to convince a man to love you. Either he does or he doesn't. And if he's not the one who does, then keep walking. Because the man for you is out here. You don't ever have to tell a man to do anything, because if he wanted to, he would. And I'm not even saying he was raised the same as you and in the same environment. It's funny how a man, we don't even have to try to tell a man what to do. A man will innately know what to do if he wants you, because he realizes how amazing and special you are. Right? And so that there be that's the problem. Because it's not that the right man wouldn't know how special and amazing and wonderful we are. It's whether or not we know how amazing, wonderful, and special we are. He ain't trying to change your last name. All he trying to do is slide you in the bed. There's something innately wrong with that, and we know better. And spirit begins to cry out, because you know you're worth so much more than that. But a lot of times we put up with and settle for the garbage that men are putting out here. Just to, even if it's just for a little while, we just kicking it. Yeah, it's cool. He cool enough. And he treats you like you cool enough. But he ain't trying to put a ring on it. He's not trying to be in a relationship with you. And I promise, I knew the story about Rachel and Jacob. I've been known as that Bible story. But I think it really struck me today. It struck me today. Because a lot of times we just put up with a whole bunch of foolishness for no reason at all. And it's sad. Because we deserve more. We deserve better. But until we know that for ourselves and only be around people who understand our worth and our value, we're going to keep running into the same things over and over and over again. Listen, I want you guys to get your tickets for the Unlocking Your Love experience at Platter Wish Restaurant. It's the day before Mother's Day. It is going to be a celebration. It's going to be about our healing. It's going to be about our resilience, right? I am so excited. I have an early bird special. The tickets are $77 until April the 5th. So if you want to purchase your ticket, go get your ticket now. And don't forget to watch me and Mr. Najib Smith on Bars and Hoops Radio on Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Listen, I love y'all like I love me some cooked food. Y'all have an awesome and amazing night. I'm going over here and go live on TikTok. I hope to see y'all over there if y'all TikTokers, because I be going live over there now all the time, and I love it. Y'all have a good night and be blessed.